IMG Academy invades NJ, Somerville pulls off a late thriller, and if he took the L in week 0, it's time for some get back. Roll it. What's going on, everyone? Nery Rodriguez here with NJ Athletics. What a week 0 to open the high school football season here in New Jersey. Bergen Catholic falling to one of the country's top college football factories in IMG as they bounce back from an opening night loss. And honestly, probably the best thing for the Crusaders and the worst thing for other New Jersey opponents, as they stand the best chance to stomp a mud hole in pretty much any team they play this season. Pretty much any team this season. Not saying all of them. It wasn't the only game on Thursday, though. I hit up Hillsborough and Somerville that saw the Pioneers escape with a close 21-20 victory as senior Brady Shire broke up a potential game-winning 2-point conversion. Wake Forest commit Terrell Mitchell had 2 TDs as the Ville playing for teammate Jaden Lofton. The Tennessee commit tore his ACL last week just before the game, so very emotional stuff. And we were there for the action and caught up with the boys afterwards. Well, I don't know if they would be standing here with the dub if it wasn't for this guy right here, Brady Shire. Congratulations on your win over Hillsborough. Tell me, man, how's it feel to get this win over the Raiders?
It's a great win against a great team. I'm happy we were able to finish the game like we know we have to every game. It's just a great feeling.
Yeah, and obviously I know there's a little jawing back and forth between you guys, and you kind of want a flag. You know, what did it mean for you to kind of just bounce back and kind of erase that?
It's just a great feeling because he kind of ran me over a little bit on the touchdown. He was talking a little bit, but I'm happy I was able to make a play.
All right, I'm standing here with the player of the game, Terrell Mitchell. Tell me, man, how's it feel to get this, exciting win over Hillsborough?
Man, it was amazing. We've been waiting for this game since off season started, and in the fourth quarter we did our job. We go by motto, take it. Toughness, accountable, knowledgeable, elite effort, and in the fourth quarter we showed toughness and elite effort.
So to just talk about, obviously it's an emotional week for you. You know what I'm saying? Jaden goes down.
Yes.
And, just interacting with all you guys on social media. I know how tight-knit you are. Just talk about, like, these last, 48 hours getting ready for this game and playing for Jaden.
This game was dedicated to him. We lost a big aspect, a big factor in our defense, and, it was a tough loss, but we did it for him today. We did it for him.
Another game I hit up on Friday was Manalapan and Piscataway, which saw the Chiefs start the season with the dub after a big performance from senior Jahai Johnson, who had a TD, an interception, and a fumble recovery. So shout out to him. We love those fresh cookies. Moving along to our interviews, this week we catch up with DePaul Catholic head coach Nick Campanile, whose team is coming off a big win over Pope John in week 0. We catch up with St. Thomas Aquinas running back Chase Young and the young phenom out of Newark, head coach Naz Oliver, Malcolm X Shabazz. But enough of that, let's get to it. All right, our next guest is no stranger to success. If you've been to the non-public B championship in the last couple of years, you've probably seen him, the head coach of the DePaul Spartans. Welcome in, Coach Camp.
Thanks, Derek. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We go way back, so it's only right that you're one of our first guests here.
No doubt. Yes, we do.
Well, I was talking to you a little bit here before we got started, but congratulations on your first win of the season. Tell me, how'd it feel to get that dub over Pope John?
It felt great. As expected, it took us a little while to get going, but once we did, we really started to play well toward the second half, and I was really proud with the effort the boys put forth.
Yeah, and they had a couple. I know they graduated a lot of talent from that team last year, but they still had some hitters like Tyler Hauser and Tyleek Hill. How did you game plan for those guys, and how were you able to kind of shut them down?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. We didn't know whether Tyleek was playing or not. He hadn't played in either of the scrimmages, so it's kind of hard to prepare for him, because we hadn't seen him at all in the preseason. So, and a player like him, man, he's breathtaking. He can go the distance on any play. So, he was a really hard guy to prepare for. I have not seen him. Then on the other hand, Tyler Hauser, as great a player as he is, unfortunately, he got injured early on in the game and didn't come back. And, obviously that was a big blow for them. He's a tremendous player and a great kid. And hopefully he's okay. But we didn't see much of him, unfortunately, Friday night.
Yeah, and it's interesting you said that about Tyleek because we actually didn't know if he left as well. We were
Yeah.
kind of trying to keep track. Obviously with the transfer rules being a lot different for when you played, what would you say is just kind of one of the challenges and things you've kind of learned here with the new just with the rapid sudden, I guess, how easy it is for players to switch
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think, year to year teams change so much, just because of the transfer rule. And, it's the new normal, it's something we got to get used to. And I don't think anybody's really fully used to it yet, but it's something that's not going to change. And it's something we all have to adapt to. And, so I think year to year, you're going to see different rosters change, big turnover on a lot of these rosters at the non-public. So, again, just something we got to adapt to.
Yeah, and obviously, just so many conference realignments, things of that nature. Obviously, a couple more teams joining the non-public B. What were your thoughts when you saw some of those teams jump from A to B?
I'm really excited. I think it's a great thing for our bracket. The last couple of years we haven't had a full bracket, and now it looks just looking at that list of teams, I got to think it's going to be a 12 to 16 team bracket now, and that's really cool to me. To have the opportunity to maybe play 4 playoff games would be really cool. It's something we've never done before, and I'm always for the more football, the better. So I'm definitely all for it. Last couple of years we've had to take buys or sit out a significant amount of time, and I hate doing that, especially when you feel like you're on a roll toward the end of the season. So hopefully that'll be the case going forward. We won't have to have those bye weeks.
Yeah, and you built a pretty tremendous roster once again. Well, I guess you returned it. We knew Nolan and Dez from last year. Obviously, Elijah. I feel like he was solid all year, but those two were your headliners, and now it seems like you got possibly the best 3-headed dragon in New Jersey on offense. Talk about those guys.
Yeah, I mean, they're all obviously tremendous players. The thing that really makes us go, and the thing I'm most proud of is how selfless they are. They're all great teammates, and when they're not getting the ball, they're blocking, they're doing whatever they need to do to help the offense. And it's never about one guy, and it's never about one certain individual. It's always about what can I do to make the team better, and whatever that is, whatever that role is, these guys embrace it, and they do an amazing job with it. And one week it might be Elijah scoring 3 touchdowns, one week it might be Dez having a great night, might be a heavy run night with Nolan, but all 3 of them are very selfless, and we have a tremendous amount of other players too that stepped up the other night and played great.
Yeah, and aside from great players, you've also been exposed to some great coaches. I know you put in work there as the OC there under Coach McKenna, your brother's coach. Just talk about how you being exposed to, I guess, other great coaches has attributed to the success you've had at DePaul.
Yeah, I've been very blessed to be around great coaches, really my whole life. I grew up around this game, and my father was a football coach, and all my brothers, and I've learned an unbelievable amount of football from them. And, you mentioned John McKenna, I worked under him for a number of years, and he decided to come back this year as an assistant, which is just awesome. It's kind of
Nice.
a reversal of roles, but it's been so great to have him back. And he's been such a great mentor to me, and just a guy that I can lean on at any time to go to questions or anything. And he's just a great help to me.
That's great. I'm gonna have to say what's up to Coach. He did a good job as athletic director, but,
No doubt.
I could tell he was itching to get back on the sideline. So
No doubt. Yeah.
so nice. So we talked about your first win. You got an out-of-state opponent coming through. Good Counsel. Home of the Diggs brothers and countless other
Yeah.
good NFL players. They have Cardinal Hay, and then you'll be back on the Jersey schedule against Seton Hall Prep. And then I see Paramus here, Don Bosco, St. Peter's, Del Barton, St. Joe's.
Yeah.
Tell me, which one of these games you think you're looking forward to the most?
That's a good one. The next one, I guess it's always the next one. The schedule doesn't really let up. So we're really focused right now on Good Counsel. They're a heck of a football team from down Washington, D.C. It's going to be a great game Friday night. I mean, we've really got our work cut out for us, and watching these guys, all day yesterday and today, and they got an unbelievable roster and a great coaching staff, and this is going to be some game Friday night.
Yeah, and like we began the discussion, obviously you're no stranger to success. And you just said you take it one game at a time, but I guess not looking too far down the road, what
Yeah.
is it going to take for this team, this specific DePaul team, to be successful this year and hope to walk the same path as those past teams in recent years?
It probably sounds cliche. It sounds like coach talk, but I think just taking it one game at a time and continuing to get better. Just looking forward to tomorrow's practice. We can't win the game tomorrow, but we can have a great day of practice. We can install the game plan the right way, and everybody could know their role and execute it as best they can on Monday. And hopefully, we put a string of 4 or 5 days together like that leading up to the game, and then we can go out and execute Friday night. So to me and to our kids and our coaching staff, it's always about the next play. So each play has a life of its own, and just get your job done on that particular play, know your assignment, and go out and execute it. And if we can do that, if we can continue to do that every day, I think we're going to be very successful. But it's hard in this league not to get caught up and look down the road, because every game is so big and so important. But we really just got to stay focused on the task at hand.
And we just got through with a great opening week 0 of football here in the Garden State. Your brother Vito is headlining a huge matchup down in South Jersey. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
I know you guys usually play on the same days, but do you ever get a chance, or do you ever kind of look in on what's going on at BC?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Thursday night, I had the game streamed. I got home early from practice and got the game on right away. Not only my brother, but my nephew being the quarterback over there. He's my godson, and he and I are very close. So I always am tuned into what he's doing and watching him very closely. And, that was some team they played the other night. That was, one heck of a football game.
Yeah, and I think, despite the loss, I think that's bad news for almost every opponent on their schedule. You never want to poke the bear. So,
Right.
even though it's probably the most motivating loss you could get straight out of the gate.
No doubt.
Now I know I guess he didn't really spend too much time in the high school realm, but I do know your other brother Nunzio.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. I kind of thought about this while we were getting this interview together.
Yeah.
I would say if all 3 of you are on a team, tell me who's taking what coaching position out of the 3 of you.
I don't know if that would work out too good. It'd probably be a fist fight every day. But my brother Anthony, who's with the Packers, he's the only one of us that got into coaching defense, and he's been very successful there too. But I think if we had to coach together, it would be tough, because we'd constantly be arguing, and everybody's got a better idea than the next guy, so it would get ugly. It's probably best that we're all on different staffs.
All right, so a little round robin. I think that's the only way we can control the camp, boys. So I know obviously you're locked into your your schedule. You're going to take it one game at a time. But I know you're a football fan. Have you kind of just have you kind of is there any teams that are not DePaul, obviously, that you kind of had your eye on, kind of just you keep up with, or anybody that's kind of impressed you that you've seen in the preseason?
Yeah, obviously, new staff over at St. Joe's, so trying to get a look at what they're doing. I didn't get a chance to see them yet, but it sounds like they've got a great group. And you always take a look at everybody throughout the league. I stream the games on Saturday. Whatever I can watch, I try to watch. But like I said earlier, really do try to stay as focused on the task at hand as possible. But at the same time, you always want to know what's going on throughout the league and who's playing well and who's doing what. So always try to stay tuned. But this year's interesting. I think everybody's really good. And I don't know that there's one dominant team. I think everybody's kind of in the mix. Obviously, Bergen Catholic, what they've been able to do the last few years is unmatched. It's been really impressive to see. But outside of them, I think everybody's neck and neck with one another, and see how this thing shakes out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're doing this interview now, and it's September. Before you know it, we're gonna blink, and we're talking about MetLife and things of that nature. Coach, before I go,
Mhm.
do you have any parting words?
No, I mean, just I'm glad to see you back doing this. This is great. I appreciate you doing this interview, and just really excited about the group that we have this year. I think this is maybe the most talented team we've had in quite some time, and I just love the chemistry of the team and the culture of the team. I think, I haven't been this excited about a group in a long time, and hopefully we can keep this thing rolling. I think the boys are really playing for each other, and the coaching staff has been fantastic. So I look forward to work every day, man. It's really exciting time right now.
Yeah, say hi to Coach Sheed for me. I know he's
Will
gonna get
do.
these guys
He's the man.
riled up here. Coach Camp, thank you so much for stopping by. Just so everybody knows, they talk about blood, sweat, and tears. This guy literally sheds all three for his team. All right. I got the video to prove it. Coach Camp, thank you so much for stopping by, brother.
Thanks, brother. Great. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Thanks.
Yeah, take care.
All right. Our next guest is the running back for St. Thomas Aquinas, and he's already found the end zone once in 2024. Let's welcome in Chase Young.
How y'all doing?
Thank you for coming on, brother. Um, so week 0 didn't go the way you guys planned. You started out 0-1. Tell me, what were some of the takeaways from this week?
It was just a tough loss. We played a really good team out of Maryland, and we were prepared, but we just didn't get it going until like the second half. And
Yeah,
there's a lot more work we have to do that we're going to put in this week to get ready for next week.
yeah, obviously, not the result you wanted, but some, a little silver lining. You did find the end zone. What do you think were some positive takeaways from that game?
The fact that we didn't give up, that we played into the final whistle in the fourth quarter, and we came back and scored 26 points.
Okay. Well, it was only your first game. So obviously a whole season left. Speaking of seasons, last year, probably one of the best football seasons that the school has had. You guys finished 10-1. You come up just short and fall in the non-public B semifinal. Tell me, what were some takeaways from last season, and how did you try to kind of implement some of that stuff into this year?
Last year, we worked hard all season. Every practice we took it 100%, and we had a lot of returning talent that came back that we try to implement the hard work that we did last year into this year's practice, and hopefully have the same season, just win a state title this year.
Yeah, and you got your dad there, your brothers played there, and were you there when Coach Meany was there?
Yeah, he was my coach my freshman year.
Okay, so obviously you suffered a tough loss, and kind of in that you guys get Coach Holman. Just talk about what that whole experience was. You lose, um, such a prominent person in the community, and kind of out of that you get this new coach that everybody kind of gravitates towards and brings something special to the game. Just talk about the whole Coach Meany situation, and then going to Coach Holman.
The Coach Meany situation, that definitely was a tough loss. Losing him was like losing a part of football in me, and he brought me in with all open arms. He gave me a chance, putting me on the field my freshman year, and going to Holman, it was kind of hard to getting used to, but eventually going, he took us all in. He had a sit down meeting with all of us, told us it's all going to be okay, and he's going to continue his legacy.
And how kind of was that, those first 2 years with Coach Holman?
They were great. My first year, the first year he came, I started at linebacker, kind of transitioned into running back towards the end of the season, and he believed in me throughout the season. He believed in the team. He gave us all hope, and last year the same thing. He brought us all in. He made us work hard, and we just continue to rock with him and have his back.
That's awesome. And I have a lot of respect for Coach. I always tell him he's been at so many kind of different programs, and I mean that in the most respectful way possible. And he's taken away so much, and that's why I think he's had so much success there so early. So your family specifically has a lot of ties to this program now. Your dad coaches there. Obviously, I covered your brother, and now are you the last one?
Nah, my little brother's now in school. He's gonna be a sophomore this year.
Okay, so yeah, you guys are still continuing that tradition. What does it mean that your family specifically has contributed to this this revamp of STA football?
It means a lot. My brother came in his freshman year, started right away. Wasn't the best season, but he continued. He believed in the work that Coach Meany put in, and I came in, and then we started rolling. His junior senior year, we started rolling, and then I come in. I had a good season, and hopefully my little brother continues it.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna be watching out for both of you guys this year. So like I said, last year's in the rear view. You finished 10-1. I'm sure you heard some chatter about maybe the schedule wasn't that competitive, but you changed that this year. You definitely got some hard opponents, like you say. You just went down to Delaware to face one. Talk about this schedule that you guys have put together for 2024, and is there any games that really stick out that you're excited for?
Yeah, there's definitely a few that stick out to us. We this week we're going down to Hinch Life Stadium in Patterson to play Lincoln. They should be a good team. We don't know much about them yet, but we're definitely looking forward to playing them. Uh, in 2 weeks we play North Brunswick, which is a town I'm from, so that should be a fun one. And we're looking forward to the St. Joe's game. The St. Joe's game that's going to be a good one. There's a lot of competition on the schedule that we are definitely looking forward for. Oh, and Paramus, I forgot about them. Yeah, we played Paramus this year. That's definitely going to be a fun one.
For sure, for sure. We're gonna have to. Yeah, I guess I kind of glossed over that one too because I went right to Joe's and Sayreville here at the bottom.
Yeah, senior
Um,
night.
hey, it's gonna be rocking. We have to talk to those STA boosters about getting you guys some new lights though. Because we need to be able to see your faces there. All right.
Yeah,
Um, Chase, before I let you go, do you have any parting words? And what do people need to know about the Trojans here in 2024?
the Trojans are coming for it all this year. We're definitely going for a state title. We're going to work hard. We're gonna definitely be put on the map very very soon.
All right, Chase Young, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by, brother, and good luck this week and this
Appreciate it.
season.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, our next guest is no stranger to success. In his first year as head coach with the Malcolm X Shabazz Bulldogs, he brought him to a Group 2. He brought him to a North 2 Group 1 championship. Let's welcome in head coach Naz Oliver. What's going on, coach?
Hey, man, appreciate y'all having me. I'm chilling, man. Just enjoying this Labor Day. About to get ready to go back to school, get ready for this week 1 matchup.
That's awesome, man. And like we are just talking off camera right now, you didn't play in week 0, so I know you're antsy. Did you catch any of the games in week 0?
I watched a few online. We had a Friday night game scrimmage versus Hudson. So after we were done, I was just checking up on some scores, trying to see if I could catch some Friday night action. But other than that, I've seen a lot of teams getting to it. So I can't wait for us to get on the gridiron this Saturday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, like I said in the intro, you're going into your second year, and your first year, lots of success. Like I said, North 2 Group 1 championship after coming over from St. Peter's Prep. Tell me, what were some reflections from your first year as head coach there?
I think the main reflection was, this being a head coach is not as easy as it may seem. It's very hard. Uh, you're responsible for much more than just coaching football. But I think the guys we have on staff this year, and the administrative support at Shabazz has done an excellent job of supporting me, and supporting our kids so that we could keep this thing rolling.
And you've played at a high level of football at the University of Tennessee. And, you were an assistant over at St. Peter's Prep for so many years, and I know people were upset to see you go. Was it tough for you to make that transition? Obviously, you're leaving one place, but you're taking a bigger role as a head coach, somewhere else.
Yeah, it was definitely tough. I love St. Peter's Prep. I always loved St. Peter's Prep. But I think it came to a point where it was time for me to, lead my own ship and really create my own path. Coach Hanson and Big Rich, they're great coaches. I learned a lot under their coaching tree. So hopefully, as I continue throughout my career, the tree just keep growing branches and we just keep planting seeds and continuing to develop a circle of success.
Yeah, and in that first year, you had a couple heavy hitters. You're gonna return Omari Gaines, who's a Stanford commit. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But you're losing guys like Judah Pruitt and Nayad Walker.
Mhm.
I was there for your game against Mountain Lakes. It didn't go the way you wanted to. Did you learn anything from that loss specific? And what are you kind of cleaning up here for 2024?
Absolutely. I think our kids learned more than anything that to play that deep into the season, we have to be conditioned not only physically but mentally. I think as we got to game 11, game 12, game 13, we're looking like, sheesh, this is a long season. So I think now that our goals, we never really had specific goals, and last year we didn't really set specific goals of, okay, we're gonna win the group championship or we're gonna win a section. We just was always week to week with it, 1 week at a time. But I think this year our eyes are really set on getting to the big dance and getting all the way through and really making history.
Yeah, and you're moving up a group. You're going from group 1 to group 2, so you're not going to see Cedar Grove. Those are always, that was it was
I'm gonna
two.
miss playing against Rob. I'm gonna miss playing those games against Cedar Grove.
I know those two games last year between you guys. I mean, that's just good football.
Yeah.
For anybody that didn't get to see it. So yeah, talk about moving up in the group there.
We're excited. I mean, we're going to play teams of the likes of, Caldwell. We play them in season at Shabazz Stadium, I think the second week of October on a Thursday night. That's going to be really competitive. Um, uh, the teams in Group 2 are really competitive. You got Westwood, you got Camden, Eastside. You got a lot of Group 2 schools that, usually have, real good, great teams, and they're really competitive. So I think as we navigate through our season, we're going to get tested and we're going to see what we're made of very soon.
Yeah, and absolutely. That last game on the schedule, always jumping. Talk about
Oh
you
yeah, I got
know,
that one. I got that one. I got that one. Oh man, that circle. They embarrassed us last year, and I don't really take kindly to that type of stuff. But our team we're definitely gonna be ready for that Thanksgiving game for sure. Especially it's gonna be at Shabazz Stadium this year, so we definitely can't have a conversation without talking about what's to come on Thanksgiving Day.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, we're glad that we still get the week quick Shabazz matchup. Um, just talk about, year two. We already talked about kind of reflecting on last year, but that's in the past. What are
Mhm.
some of the expectations you have for yourself as a coach this year?
I think the expectations this year is really just to keep the guys really mentally and physically engaged. One thing about the game of football, you can never get too high, you can never get too low. And I think I got to do a better job this year of, keeping the guys, locked in on the expectations and standards that we're going to face each day. During our, like, quick example, during our scrimmage season, we didn't really perform to the level of our expectations versus the likes of, Union City, which is a Group 5 school. I think they're going to have a really good season. Shout out to Will Valdez. And also, the likes of Pope John, our game scrimmage against Pope John. They're in the Big North. And shout out to Coach Dom over there. So we tried to do a real good job of testing ourselves against some really good programs in the off season, so that we're ready for the season.
Yeah, and you're relatively, I guess on the younger side of the coaching age group. And one thing you do so well is just, you get kids um to buy in. Obviously, it was different when you were at St. Peter's Prep, so you could just kind
Mhm.
of grab players and do things of that nature. But it seems like you do a really good job of just attracting kids to want to play for that program. What would you say are some of the, I guess, challenges that coaches are dealing more with in high school sports that maybe they haven't before?
I think the number one challenge right now, I would say, is the commitment. A lot of guys and a lot of kids, especially in these generations, they want things instantly. Instant gratification is like the thing. Everybody wants. It's like a microwave, right? Throw it in a microwave. It's done in 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Man, to get to the top, to be successful, sometimes you got to slow cook that thing, man. Sometimes you gotta let that thing marinate. And I think that's what I got to do a better job of, getting guys to understand. Like, hey, you may not achieve all your success, right away. But are you going to stop working? Are you going to stop preparing? Are you going to stop getting up every day and getting after it? And I think that's what a lot of these kids in these generations, they look around and they see guys getting offers in seventh grade and eighth grade. And, oh, why is this not happening for me? Why is it not going like this for me? But hey, man, this thing is a marathon. You got to run your race. You never know how this thing is going to go. Especially, for me, I played at the University of Tennessee, but I ended my career at a Division II school in Richmond, Virginia. It's some guys who, start at JUCO. They just said Cam Ward. He started at Incarnate Word. And then now he was at Washington State. Now he's at Miami and he's doing his thing. So I think a lot of guys got to understand that you gotta be patient with yourself. You got to give yourself grace, but you also got to be committed to this journey because it's not a short one.
Yeah, and I think especially it's so easy to transfer in college. I think something the kind of thought I had last year was um tradition. It's so hard to play for. Like you said, you played at Tennessee. It probably would have been hard for you to play at Tennessee and then play at Ohio State the year before, and then maybe like a Texas, because there's just so much tradition at each
Sure,
school.
for
I think
sure.
it's hard for kind of speak about tradition and how that plays a part as Shabazz and what you coach.
Oh man, the tradition at Shabazz is very rich. The South Ward is a very unified ward, very passionate ward, and they love his football. They got us Shabazz, and they got Weekway High School. So they got two really good programs that are competing year in and year out to win championships and to get guys to the next level. And I think with that, it just makes the community that much stronger. It builds unity that much more in the community, and I think that's the main goal.
That's awesome. Before we let you go, I know you're very connected with a lot of coaches around the state. Um, and it when you're going up against states like Florida and Texas and California, those are the big dogs. What could you just say about not only playing high school football here, but you're coaching it, you played at the next level. What can you just say about maybe either the transition that New Jersey football has done, or just the recognition that it kind of deserves and where it kind of sits?
Oh man.
Um,
Hey, I'm proud of all the guys that's representing for New Jersey right now. Look, just scrolling through Instagram. I didn't really get a chance to catch all the college games, but if you're a college recruiter and you're not recruiting, and you're recruiting the Northeast, and if Jersey is not one of your first stops, you're doing it wrong. Jersey, especially North Jersey, is a hotbed for all types of talent. And the great thing about recruiting up here also is that uh everything is about 15, 20, 30 minutes away, especially when you get up North Jersey. You can hit about 10, 15 high school. If you're a grinder of a recruiter, you could come up here about 8 in the morning. You could hit about 15, 20 schools and really get some great players and make some great connections with some great high school coaches up here.
Absolutely, absolutely. All my real reporters, we've done that run from Irvington to Union
Yep.
High School before.
Yep.
we've seen we've
Yep.
seen some great matchups. Coach Oliver, do you have any parting words for us?
Hey man, just look out for the Shabazz Bulldogs. We're gonna keep our heads down. But at the end of the day, look out for us, and we're gonna make some noise this year.
Awesome, Coach Oliver. Appreciate you taking time out. Good luck this week against Lincoln, and we'll definitely be seeing you, Omari, and the rest of the guys at some point this year.
Thank you, appreciate you, man. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you. Always nice catching up with my guys. A lot of great performances in week 0, but I want to give a shout out to my guys from West Orange. 48-0 against Orange. Hit, win, shutout. Great job, boys. Now, when it comes to this week, everyone's going, all right? Week 1 kicking off the season for a lot of teams. Thursday night, classic rivalry. How could I not stop by and pay my guys from South Brunswick and North Brunswick a visit? Shout out to Coach Mike Sipot. Listen, no hard feelings, all right? He knows exactly what I'm talking about, but when I see you, you know it's all love. Now, when it comes to Friday, I'm heading down to Red Bank to pay my guys from RBC a visit as they're hosting Don Bosco. Should be a movie, but there's other great matchups on the schedule as well. Just taking a look already. Scotch Plains Fanwood at Rawway. Bridgewater Raritan taking on Piscataway. Who else we got here? West Orange PCTI. Watchung Hills Woodbridge should be a good matchup. Who else we got here? All right. Good Counsel paying DePaul a visit. We already talked about that. The Diggs brothers' old stomping grounds coming up to the Garden State. Love it. Cherokee at Lenape. Lenape making the trip all the way up to PCTI last week. Central Regional at Matawan. Gotta love a good short conference matchup. Who else we got here? The Port going to Neptune. Shout out to the Red Raiders. Union at Hillsboro. Can the Raiders redeem? Really, the Farmers, they took like a 34-0 loss to Seton Hall Prep in week 0. So both those teams looking for some get back. Let's see who else we got here. Point Borough at RFH. It's a good short conference matchup right there. My guys from Phillipsburg kicking off the year at home versus Westfield. If you've never been to Peaburg for a Friday night football game, you gotta, all right? You hit up the Bergen Catholics and the St. Joe's Montvales and the Seton Hall Preps and the Don Boscos. You gotta go see the Peaburgs, all right? You gotta go see the Peaburgs of the world. That atmosphere is like no other. I heard somebody say that Phillipsburg fancies themselves as the Alabama of New Jersey high school football. You know what? I'll let them have it, damn it. I love the school spirit, all right? Go State Liners. My guys from Zone 6 putting on one of their showcases. They got Union City taking on St. Peter's Prep over at Kane University. Somerville at Cranford. I've covered both of those teams extensively during my career, so should be a good matchup between the Pioneers and the Cougars. Morris Knolls and West Morris could get a little dicey. All right? Those are two smash mouth, run it straight at you football programs. So I love that. Now, Saturday, the game of the week. Nowhere else you'd rather be. St. Joe's Montvale taking on Seton Hall Prep. Joe's coming off that tough loss to St. Francis of Maryland. Straight powerhouse. They were rocking with them, leading them at one point. So you know there's going to be blood in the water for them. Seton Hall Prep, like I said, they're coming off a 34-0 win over Union. Caden Davis, young quarterback. Coach Fitz always gets that program fired up. So I think this could be possibly the Super Football Conference. I don't want to say matchup of the year, but I think it's going to go down as top 5. All right? I think it's going to go down as top 5 for the Big North. But if you don't happen to make it to West Orange, Still got some good matchups for you. Sagerville and Linden should be a pretty fair matchup. See what my guys from East Orange will do. I got to get out and see my guys, the Sharks. Malvern Prep coming up to take on Del Barton. That should be fun. Ridge at St. Joseph Metuchen. Coach Andy West always doing a good job over there at Ridge, and you got a former Red Devil great and himself, Bill Tracy. Get my guys from St. Joe's Metuchen going. All right. My boys from Hun gonna take on Wyoming Seminary. Shout out to them. They go out on the road and get a big win in Chicago to open up the year. I'm really excited for them and their national schedule. We do have some content to show you from them. We'll have to bring that to you soon. But, all those guys, shout out to all those guys over there, Kamar Archie, Cole Breeler, Liam Thorpe, and, countless others. Chase Enlow, their running back, just a great program. And obviously the coaches, Todd Smith, Tony Rassiopi. Anybody else I'm forgetting, I apologize. You guys all do such a great job. So definitely, you got to try to get out to a Hun game sometime this year. We just talked with Coach Oliver. Shabazz is taking on Lincoln. And, St. Thomas Aquinas will be taking on Lincoln of New York. That is going to wrap up the Saturday coverage. You let us know below where you're heading, but I just want to say this before we get out of here. All right. I was so happy and impressed with just to be back, seeing football. I really do believe New Jersey has made that jump. We should be considered top 10 in the country for football. I mean, hey, we're producing a lot of college football and NFL talent out here. I mean, we got guys intercepting Patrick Mahomes in the damn Super Bowl, so give us our respect. You guys let me know where you're heading this weekend. Send in all your takeaways for fresh cookies. If you have any topics, debates, concerns we should be addressing here on this show, please let us know. For NJ Athletics, I'm Nery Rodriguez.